Could I get a copy up front because I added a problem. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go through and we're going to take a look at elimination. What does the word eliminate mean? Cameron? To get rid of, to cancel, all right? If you eliminate a job, you get rid of that job. The other thing that we sometimes call this, and you'll see it, sometimes I'll say it out loud, sometimes you'll see it in directions. The other thing we call this is linear combinations. All right, linear because that's the type of equations we're dealing with. They're all linear. There's no x squared, there's no y squared. So those are called linear equations. Combinations, a combination is something we put together. All right, your combination to your locker is a group of numbers that have been put together. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to combine equations together to eliminate a variable. So both those names accurately describe what we're doing. All right, so let's take a look. You guys should have the 6 steps already typed in your notes, am I correct? All right, so the first thing you need to do, and you actually have 2 problems like this on your worksheet tonight where you have to pay attention to that. You need to make sure that all your like terms are lined up. So that means x over x, y over y, equal signs even need to be lined up. And then the constant, which we're going to call the c value by itself. So what that means, guys, is it's going to be in standard form. So you're going to have equations that look like this. Ax plus by equals c. So x and y on one side equaling c. If that's not what you're given, then you have to do some algebra manipulation to get it that way. So you might have to add 4x to each side. You might have to minus 2y from each side. But you need to get it so that x and y are on the same side. Step 2, we don't always have to do. And in fact, the first example that we have, we don't have to do step 2. So this is not an always, but more of a sometimes. All right? Step 3, you're always going to do this. You're going to add the 2 equations, that's the combination part, and then you're going to eliminate a variable. Step 4 is divide. You get one of your solutions. You're going to take that answer, plug it into the other, into either of the original equations to get the other answer. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, once you get x equals a number or y equals a number, what you're doing looks no different than what we did with the warm-up. We substituted in to one of the original equations and get our other variables. So by the time you're done, you're going to have an x and a y value, an m and an n value. You're going to have 2 numbers, and you're going to be able to check both of those in your, check that ordered pair in both equations. All right? So instead of coming up and asking Mr. Clemmerine if it's the correct answer, you're going to come up and say, I know this doesn't work. I checked it. What did I do wrong? Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Clement and I don't have time during the class period to check your answers for you. You do that in the original equations. All right? So let's take a look at our first example. All right, we have negative x plus 2y equals negative 8 and x plus 6y equals negative 16. Does this match what you guys have? Beautiful. All right, do I have x and y in equal signs and our constants lined up? Yeah. Beautiful. So we got step 1. Step 2, we need to get opposites. What does it mean to have opposites? Who can give me an example of opposites? Opposite numbers, like not opposite things like in and out, but opposite numbers. What are numbers that are opposites? Brianna? Positive and negative, and very specifically it would be like 2 and negative 2. It might be 17 and negative 17. It has to be the same number, just one is positive and one is negative. So when we look at example 1, do we have any opposites already? Yeah, we're at David. Good job. Negative x and positive x. This is like a negative 1, and this is a positive 1. So this is what I mean by sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have to do any multiplication here. They gave me my opposites. So what I can do now, Chandler, is I can jump to step 3. Add the 2 equations together. Well, what's negative x plus x? 0. It cancels out. Did I just eliminate a variable? Yes. And now what I'm going to be left with is 8y. Because what's 2 plus 6? 8. Equals, what's negative 8 and negative 16?
Negative 8.
Is it negative 24? Make sure you add them together. Now here's the division, and I start to go quickly, ladies and gentlemen, because at that point, is it a review problem? What? Yep, negative 8, negative 16 is negative 24. Negative 24 divided by 8 is negative 3. What do I do from there?
Wait, so you just added your negative 8 plus your negative 16, right?
It's always adding. Yep.
So then we'll just get a positive then?
Nope, because if you owe me $8 and you owe Mr. Clem $16, do you have $24 or are you in the whole $24? You're still in the whole $24. So if I add two negatives together, it's still going to... That's in multiplication. Addition is going to stay negative. All right, Taven, you going to tell me how to wrap it up?
Yeah, you have to plug in 3 for 1.
Good job. And you can use either equation, ladies and gentlemen. I like the first one because I'm only multiplying by 2 instead of 6. Keeps the numbers a little bit smaller. Kai, what's 2 times negative 3? Good job. Add 6. Use your calculator. If you're not getting the same math I am, take the time and you have to divide by a negative 1 or just take the opposite of both sides. But x should equal a positive 2. Where did my problem go? So if we take a look at this, we're saying the answer is 2, negative 3. Negative 2 plus negative 6 is negative 8. 2 plus negative 18 is negative 16. Now I do that really quick with my mental math. Could you take the time to type those into your calculator if you're not doing the mental math? Yeah. Yes. Darlene, what's your question? Okay. I'm glad I figured that out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, example 2. Oh, yes.
Never mind. Oh
Right.
my God. No, I figured it out.
Okay, okay.
I wasn't looking at it.
Well, I didn't get the...
For those of you who are in here first semester, that was twice a day, would we say?
No.
Can't pretty know. He did it just to pick on me. Thanks.
All
All right, ladies and gentlemen, do we have any opposites? No. But do we have x and y lined up? Yes. So, here's my question for you. Can you make 2 into a 5? No. Can I multiply 4, though, and make it an 8? Yeah. So, let's think about what we want. This is a negative 8, correct? What's the opposite of a negative 8? So what I really need here is positive 8y, correct? So what am I going to multiply this by to get positive 8? Negative 2. Good job. And because what's a negative times a negative? There's your positive. So ladies and gentlemen, this is, you know how on the side of your notes there's a little margin? See that part there? So this is the note that we added second hour. We said that you multiply by a negative to change signs. All right? We needed this negative 4 to become a positive number. All right? I wasn't sure yet what number it was going to become, but I knew it needed to become positive, so I knew whatever I was multiplying by was going to have to be negative. Then I said, okay, what do I multiply 4 by to get 8? I multiplied by a negative 2. Notice, ladies and gentlemen, I put parentheses in my problem, correct? And I put parentheses around the entire equation. So guess what that means about that negative 2? It has to get distributed and multiplied to the entire equation. Good job. So this is going to be negative 10x plus 8y equals negative 6. What do you want to ask? Okay.
So do we solve that then?
For sure. Now we add them together. Negative 2 plus negative 10 is negative 12x. If that's not what you got in your head before I said it, then please start using your calculator. 2 plus negative 6 is negative 4, correct? Making a point? Yes. Yes, what's your quick question?
Where did the negative 2 that you multiply the top equation by.
What we said is I can't turn 2 into a 5, but they told me I could turn 4 into an 8. How do you turn 4 into an 8? By multiplying it by 2, correct? So that's where the 2 came from. I needed this negative to become a positive. And so because we needed to change the sign, we multiplied by a negative 2. All right? Divide by negative 12. 1/3, not 3, correct? 4/12 is less than 1. Make sure you don't switch that. It's okay to get fractions, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot use a decimal there. If you do 4 divided by 12, you're going to get a repeating decimal, and you can't have repeating decimals. What happens is if you round that, and then you plug it in for y, y is going to be off, and then when you plug both of those off answers into your equation, it won't check, so it looks like you have wrong answers. Yes? 1/3, right? We're not done, though, are we? What am I going to do, Tim?
I have a question.
Okay.
Plug it in the normal font?
I usually plug it into one of the 2 original equations. I usually don't use this one. Yep, I usually avoid my new equations. Part of the reason there is because you're multiplying. It means you just increase those integers, which means my numbers are going to be bigger. And for me, the larger my numbers get, the harder it is for me to do mental math. So I like to work with the small numbers to try and increase the chance for me to use mental math. This is going to be fractions, ladies and gentlemen. Do not shy away from them. Use your calculator. If you didn't use your calculator enough first semester, Mr. Clem and I can help you with that. This is 5/3. I have to subtract 5/3 from each side. All right, so this is 4/3. No, I'm doing a lot of quick writing, ladies and gentlemen. Do we all know to subtract here? If you can't subtract that quickly in your head, is that okay for right now? If you can't, then use your calculator. But 3 minus 5/3 is 4/3. Why do I do all that? How else are you going to solve for y?
Because you don't want to solve for y.
Dude, you're always going to solve for x and y. That's your job.
Oh, didn't it feel like the same thing they did last?
It's the same thing we've been doing for 2 weeks in here. Yep. I ain't teaching a whole lot new other than adding these equations together. I'm not done though, am I? Divide by negative 4. We used to have y is equal to a negative 1/3. Darlene.
Why wouldn't you times it to the other negative 2 plus 2 times negative 2?
I don't understand. You need to multiply what?
Like, you multiply everything with the negative 2. Wouldn't
Right
you
here?
do the same thing when you check it?
No. I want to use the original equation. No. That's what we just said. I'm not using this equation because it has bigger numbers. And the bigger the numbers, Darlene, the more difficult it is for me to do this using mental math. All right? These two are the exact same equation. Just one has larger integer values in there. Okay? But no, I wouldn't use them. So when I said original equations, that's what I meant. Does that make more sense now? All right. I just saw a hand up, but it went down. Are we okay? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at example 3. Is this your example 3? No, yours looks a little bit different. So let's go take a look at your example. This is example 4, but we're going to call it example 3. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? All right. We have 4x plus 4y equals negative 8, and 2x plus 2y equals 4. So I'm going to start the way I did before. Do I have any opposites? No. So I need to make opposites. Can I make 2 into a 4? Thank you. No, on your worksheet it's negative 4.
Oh, that one.
Yep, that one. You and I are on the same page. You got it.
No.
All right.
Trying to make a point.
Yep, so do I. I changed it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, can I make 2 into a 4? Yeah. But I don't want it to be a 4. What do I want it to be? A negative 4. So I want this equation to stay the same. We want this to be 4x plus 4y
Oh, yeah.
equals negative 8. We want that one to stay the same, correct? We want this to become a negative 4x, correct? Notice, ladies and gentlemen, I write down what I want it to become before I actually do my multiplying, correct? That way it helps me multiply by the correct number. So what do I have to multiply 2 by to get a negative 4?
If we did do it by -2, because that would give us -4, wouldn't it cancel both out?
Well, let's take a look what happens. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4x. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4y.
Yeah.
And what's negative 2 times negative 4?
That is positive.
All right. Did anyone else notice that not only did we cancel out our x, what do we do to our y? Cancel it out. So what do we have on this side?
0.
0.
And then on the
Other side, what do we have? Ladies and gentlemen, we have what we call special solutions. What are our two types of special solutions? Infinitely many or no solution. Which category does 0 equals 0 fall in? IMS, because is this a true or a false statement? That's what it's going to look like for elimination. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. Can we turn, Tim, can I turn 2 into a 4?
No. Wait, what?
Can I turn 2x into 4x?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this equation stayed the same, which is why I wrote it down there. If this is positive 4, what does this one have to be in order to have opposites? Negative 4. So what do you have to multiply a positive by to get a negative? A negative. And what do you have to multiply 2 by to get 4?
Okay.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I need to put example 4 up there for you. So let's take your example 4 up here. So let's take a look at this. 2x plus 5y is equal to 6. And negative 3x minus 2y equals 2. Can I turn 2 into a 3? No. Can I turn 2 into a 5? No. So Damien, what that means is I have to change both of them. So do I want to make my x's match? Or do I want to make my y's match? There's no right or wrong answer. But which one of these are smaller, x's or y's? X's. So I'm going to make my x's match. Let's use some good English here. What number do both 2 and 3 divide into? 6. So I am going to create a positive 6x. And I'm going to create a negative 6x. What do I have to multiply 2 by to make it 6? So we're going to multiply this entire equation by 3. What do I have to multiply negative 3 by to get negative 6? And it's going to be positive 2 because I don't need to change my sign, correct? Positive stayed positive, negative stayed negative. So, 3 times 2x is 6x. We knew that. We made that happen. What's 3 times 5? 15. And 3 times 6 is 18. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. We knew that. We made that happen. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4y. Are x's going to cancel now? Yeah. And as long as we multiply everything in the equation by the same value, guys, it stays a true statement. It stays an equation. 11y equals, what's 18 plus 4? 22. I like this a lot. Why?
11 divided by 22?
Yep. Divide 11 into 22 and we get y equals 2. That's why I like it, because it gave me an integer answer. And now what am I going to do with that 2?
You're going to plug it in.
To one of the original equations for y.
I think it's 15 more.
What's 3 times 5?
Okay, yeah.
All right. Plug that 2 in. I've got 2x plus 5 times 2 is equal to 6.
How did you get 3?
What do you have to multiply 2 by to make it 6?
Oh, 3.
We're going to subtract 10. Now I'm going really fast, ladies and gentlemen, because you shouldn't have to watch me solve this equation, should you?
Yeah.
Should you be doing this at your seat?
Okay.
Yep. If you want to watch me and copy my work down, you can. Your answers should be written as ordered pairs. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you check the back of your worksheet, or the back of your notes, what is